All right, then question number 4, they want us to match. Wow, these people are generous. Ne? They even give you matching in minutes. Okay, so matching with exponents. I think this is an exponent. So we know that 3p times 3p. We know that 3 times 3 is going to be 9. P times p is going to be p squared. So 4.1.1 goes where? Okay, this is 3 squared p negative 2. Nope. 3 squared p squared. That's correct. So it's this one. Okay, then let's look at the second one. 3 over p, 3 over p. Remember, with multiplication of fractions, numerator separately, denominator separately. So that's going to be 9 over p squared, which is also the same as 9 p negative 2. Okay. So 3 squared p negative 2. I think it's this one, this A. Okay. And then 4.1.3. Because this question is testing on moving from expanded form into exponential notation. Okay, let me also change this. This is 3 squared. And then 3 squared. Okay. We have 1 over p negative 2, p negative 2, p negative 2. Okay, so that's going to be the same as 1 over. How many are they? 1, 2, 3, and 4. So p negative 2 to the exponent of 4. But this goes up since it's negative, so it's going to be p squared to the exponent of 4, which is option D. Okay, so that is how we would have gone about with 4.1. Then 4.2, can we prove the following? Can we prove the following? Wow. Guys, how do we prove this? Because they want us to show that the right-hand side is equal to the left-hand side, or the left-hand side is equal to the right-hand side. How do we prove this? Okay, so I can start from this right-hand side, because that's where I can say, okay, so it's going to be q divided by p to the negative 1. But we know that p to the negative 1 can also be written as 1 over p to the 1. Okay, so that's going to be q divided by 1 over p. Now, since these are fractions, we can change the sign to multiplication. So q over 1 times the p goes on top, and then we're going to have qp. Okay, so that becomes our result. Or we know that this is the same as pq. All right, then 4.3. 4.3. Simplify this. So from the laws of exponents, we know that when we are multiplying numbers with the same basis, you must add up the exponents, and when you're dividing, you must subtract the exponents. Okay, so let's start with the top ones. This is r and r, so it's going to be r negative 2 plus 4. S negative 5 plus negative 2 over r2 is 6. Okay, so this becomes r to the 2 s to the negative 7 over r squared s to the 6. So we can see that the r2 and r2 are going to kill each other. Okay, but now when I look at the s's, the 6 is bigger than the 7, so I need to subtract from the bottom. So which means I'm going to have, okay, let's have negative 7 minus 6, which is going to be negative 13. Let's change this to a positive, so it's 1 over s to the 13, and then that becomes our answer. Okay, then 4.3.2, anything to the exponent of 0 must always give us a 1, okay? So this 0 is just next to the p, so which means it's going to be 5 times 1 multiplied by p, plus this is going to be a 1 multiplied by p, over this 2 is going to affect the 2, the p is also affected, so that's going to be a negative 4p squared, because it's going to be in 2p multiplied by 2p. something like that. Okay, so let's see what is on top. It's going to be just a 5p plus a p over negative 4p squared. So these are like terms. We plus them. We're going to end up with a 6p over negative 4p squared. Okay, let's look for a number that can divide 6 and 4, which is a 2, by 2 is a 3, by 2 is a 2. So our answer is a negative 3 over 2, and then the p's will cancel out. So you're going to have something like that. All right. And then number patterns, they're telling us that the nth term, which is 4n plus 3, for this particular number pattern, find the first two terms. So the first two terms, let's say for T1, replace n with a 1. So that's 4 times 1 plus 3, which is going to be a 7. For T2, we're going to have 4 times 2 plus 3. It's going to be 8 plus 3, which is 11. So the first two terms are going to be 7 and 11. And then which term is equal to 867? So let's use the nth term, which is 4n plus 3 equated to 867. Now they're asking for the position. Let's move the 3 to that side, meaning 4n is going to be 867 minus 3. So 4n is going to be 468. So 864. Then let's divide both sides by 4. So n becomes a 2. Okay, it's going to be a 1. Remainder 2. So 2 and 6. Okay, so that is what we have to do with 5.1.2. And then 5.2, they are telling us that winter is when most flu viruses spread and multiply very quickly. The way in which the virus multiplies can be represented by the following sketch. So in 0 minutes, in 1 minute, then in 2 minutes, in 3 minutes. Okay, so the number of viruses, okay, in 0 minutes is just 1 virus. In 1 minute, it's just 2. And so on and so forth. So which means we are basically multiplying the previous term by 2. That's the kind of description we can have. Okay, so describe the pattern in words. So we can say that from 1, okay, from 1, the next term or the pattern increases by multiplying the previous term by 2 to obtain the next term. So the next term is obtained by multiplying the previous term by 2. All right, then question number 6, which is the algebraic expressions. So if you're given this number of terms, how many terms are they? So terms can be separated using the addition and subtraction, okay? So this is 1 term, 2 terms, 3 terms, and then 4 terms. Okay. And then what is the coefficient of x? So coefficient of x, one number appears before the plane x. So when we look at the number that appears before the plane x, we're seeing the 75, okay? But is y part of the coefficients, okay? That's the question that we need to ask ourselves, yes. So if y is also part of, because now this is going to be the same as 75y with x. So this becomes the coefficient. So I'm going to make it 75y. And then what is the degree of the expression in x? So degree simply means the biggest exponent of x is going to be 4. Okay, it's the 4th degree, or you can tell us degree 4. No problem. Okay, then 6.2, given the expression, can we determine the value of the expression if a is -1 and b is 2? So here they want you to just substitute, replace the letters with these numbers. So it's going to be a negative and a -1 plus, this is going to be a 2 into 2 minus 2 multiplied by negative 1, everything is cubed. So you can use your calculator here and then get the answer. Or you can just break it down bit by bit. So negative, that's going to be a positive 1 plus 2 by 2, that's going to be a 4 minus this, and this is going to be a plus also, so plus 2 to the exponent of 3. So we know that 4 plus 2, that's going to be a 6. So it's 1 plus 6 cubed. We know that 6 cubed is going to be 6 by 6 by 6, which gives us 216 plus 1. So our answer is 217. All right, then 6.3, simplify this. Now we have brackets. Whenever you see brackets and they ask you to simplify, the only thing you have to do is open those brackets up. So I'm going to keep the negative 3a outside of the brackets. Okay. So that I open this using the FOIL. So a and 2a is going to be 2a squared. A and that is going to be negative ab squared. And then b times that, I'm going to have a positive 2ab. And then b and that, I'm going to have a negative b cubed. Then let me open it up. Negative 3 and 2 is going to be negative 6a cubed. Negative and negative is going to be a positive a cubed, b cubed, but there's a 3. And a negative 3 and a positive, that's going to be a negative 6a squared with a b. Then a negative and negative, I'm going to have a positive 3a with b cubed. Now I don't see any like terms here. Okay, so this should be my answer. Then 6.3.2. Okay, these are exponents and some simplifications. So this 3 must affect the 2. 3 must affect that 2 as well. So it's going to be the same as 2 cubed x2 times 3 plus the cube root of 27 is going to be a 3. And then this 3 will divide the 12, okay, which gives us a 4 minus 8x to the 4. Okay, so this is going to be 2 cubed is 8, x to the 6, plus 3x to the 4, minus 8x to the 4. We only have 2 like terms here. So it's going to be 8x to the 6. Okay, so 8x to the 6, this and that's going to be a negative 5x to the 4. So that is how we end up with that result, and that becomes the answer. All right, 6.4. Factorize. This is a difference of 2 squares, which means we're going to have p minus 5. Then we're going to have a p plus 5. That becomes the answer. 1 mark for each vector. The order of the signs does not matter. You can start with a plus and end with a minus. Okay. Then 6.4.2. What is common here? 3 is common. Let's take it out. X squared minus 7x plus a 10. But this is a trinomial. Okay. With a trinomial, remember you need to look for the product, which is a 10, and then the sum, which is a negative 7. So the 2 numbers that I'm going to multiply to give me 10 and I plus them, I get negative 7 is negative 5 and negative 2. And that becomes the answer. All right. Then question number 7. They want us to write the following statement algebraically. Okay. Now we're going to the equations. We are looking at the equations. Okay. So the sum of 3 numbers is 1, 2, 3. The second number is 5 times the first number. And then the third number is 2 more than the second number. Write the following statement algebraically. So we need to use letters as well as numbers. So we don't know what the first term is and the third term is and blah, 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 blah. So all we need to do is if we let, okay, if I let the first term, x, I'm assuming the first term is the smallest, okay? They say the sum of three numbers. So first term is x. Now what is our second term? They told us that the second term is 5 times the first one, which is 5x. And then the third term is 2 more than the second. When they say 2 more, which means it's a 5x plus 2, meaning that I'm going to get x plus my second term 5x plus now the third term, which is 5x plus 2. I equate it to 1, 2, 3. Simplify this. I have 11x plus 2 must give us 123. All right. Then 7.2.1, they want us to solve these equations. So I'll have a 4a minus 3a squared. Then this is going to be a plus because negative and negative, okay? That's going to be 6a plus 3a squared must give us a 10. So this 3a squared and the 3a squared is negative, it's one positive, so they cancel out. So we're going to have 10a is equal to 10, divide both sides by 10, meaning that a is 1. Then if we have fractions involved, we can do the crisscross, this, and then that. So 3 into 2x minus 3 is equal to 2 multiplied by 5x. That's going to be 6x minus 9, giving me 10x. I'll move the 6 that side. So negative 9 is equal to 4x. Because now this is going to be a subtraction. 10x minus 6x. Then I'll divide both sides by 4, meaning that my x is going to be a negative 9 over 4. If you want, you can always leave that answer as a decimal. But we prefer to have it as a common fraction. And then 7.2.3, we have an exponential equation, meaning that we need to make 81 also to be in exponential form. So 3x minus 2 is equal to, it's going to be 3 to the 4. Drop the bases, x minus 2 is 4, meaning that our x is going to be 4 plus 2, which is a 6. Okay, so that is what we do. When you're dropping the bases, it means that you're only focusing on the exponents. Then 7.3, which is the last one for 5 marks. That Ryan buys twice as many 5-liter bottles of dishwashing liquid than fabric softener. He paid $120 per 5-liter bottle of fabric softener, and then $150 per 5-liter bottle of dishwasher. And this guy paid a total of $2,520. How many 5-liter bottles of dishwashing liquid did he buy? So this type of equation is more like what we call the simultaneous equation. Okay. Now, when we look at the first statement, he bought twice as many dishwashing as the fabric, meaning that he got fewer fabric softeners than the dishwashing. So if I let the fabric softener, okay, to be X, and then the dishwashing liquid is going to be twice X. Okay, then they're telling us that he paid $120 per 5-liter of the fabric softener. So meaning that if I get the 120 times X plus the 150 multiplied by the dishwasher, which is 2x, I must get a total of 2,520. And they're asking me how many dishwashers did he buy. So I need to solve this. So meaning that I have 120x plus a 300x must give us 2,520. This gives us 420x is 2,520. Divide both sides by 420. Okay. And then our x becomes, let's hope it's not a decimal, and it shouldn't be a decimal. because that would be outrageous. Ne? It would be something else. Okay, so we have 2520. I'm dividing it by 420. Okay, I'm getting 6, meaning that this person bought 6 fabric softeners. Okay, but then the question is asking for the dishwashing liquid. Okay, so dishwashing liquid, remember it is twice. It's going to be 2 times 6, which is 12. So guys, this is my approach of how I would have worked this out. Okay, so I'll stop there for now since the paper stops there, and then I'll wish you guys the best in your June exams, and I believe we shall meet again when we are basically looking at the solutions or the possible memorandums of the papers that you guys would have written. Okay, I think there's 2.4 here. They want us to round off this to the nearest 10. I circled it. I don't know what happened. Why did I forget it? Okay, so when they say round off the nearest 10, meaning that this answer of ours should be now multiples of 10. 6, supposed to be 8, something like that. So this should be the final answer, not this one. All right, guys, thank you very much. Let's meet when we meet. Bye.